I'm a hard case though, because I have a bit of like a tomboy essence to me, so I like playing like basketball or like wrestling. Like when I was growing up, I would wrestle with. I remember me beating one of my neighbors in a wrestling game and being so proud of myself because I was a girl. But I also struggled with the the aspect of being bigger. Like I always was attracted to men that were shorter than me, and so I would think that I needed to be shorter. We weren't men. I was like a kid. I wasn't attracted. There are some people that like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I fell in love with Leo in Re- Romeo and Juliet, fourth or fifth grade. I was out for the count. I was studying Shakespeare. I was, but he was, his face, his character, that character, and what that's represented to me as someone who I know I'll never meet, someone who I know I'll never interact with, who's an actor in the world, what that has become and what that type of uh, person is. I used to be someone who'd like kind of like get hot, like Johnny Depp is another one that I think of. But when I really think of people like those types of actors, I actually tend to lean more on a like in my heart, like something happens, like I want I think I want to have respect in my heart for the person. So, sitting there and saying like, "Oh my God, this man is so hot." Sometimes, it's almost impossible not to to see these beautiful people, but there's beautiful people everywhere, and they're all actors, and it has nothing to do with fame. And um, but the really, and so to with that said, you want to be respectful to the person, and you don't know what they have going on, and you have to humble yourself to realize that you really don't know. Like, you might be talking to someone and thinking that you know one conversation's being had, and it's just not. Like, I remember once having a conversation with a trans woman, and man, we had a long talk, and at the end of it, I they revealed to me that they had a sex change, and I had this moment of actually I felt like betrayed. Like, I don't know if I said to myself, I don't know if I would have talked with them about that if I had known that. But I actually needed to learn something from that person, which was that they're just a person. They're just a human being and having an experience, and and as a chick, as a female, it isn't a matter of like sisterhood, and you'll be like, if you ruin the sisterhood, it's like some things are for women, some things are only for women and chicks, some things, and the more you invite a guy into it, the it just isn't necessary, it has no function. And with that said, like, I go between sometimes, like, wanting like a female doctor or like a male doctor, but it kind of depends. It really does kind of depend. Like, I have never wanted a male gynecologist, but I definitely have listened to men doctors speak on women's issues, and they definitely have compassion for the woman's experience. There's two different kinds of people. There's people who say that, I don't know why I always say there's two of something. There's two, but there's people who, I forgot what I was going to say. It must not be that important, and we'll come back if it is. Doctors respect. Oh, walking. So when you are walking, there's two types of like ways of looking at it. It's I personally think it's better to be like, oh, I've never been in your situation, I have no idea what's going on, so please do tell so I can help in any way that I can. Otherwise, when you start to imagine, it creates problems, because sometimes the spirit of offense steps in and says, you've never walked in my shoes. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I will not receive this or listen to this. And 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 there's a very real resistance there to that kind of, so like if a female's having like if a woman's having a man doctor, some women will really resist having a man be involved in certain um parts of the human experience. But I can't be that strict on it, because the fact of the matter is men and women come out of men and women. Yes, the woman carries a baby, but the man carries a seed. That she wouldn't be able to get pregnant without that, and both have a responsibility in the raising of the child. And yes, I know these days we can go and get ourselves artificially inseminated and all of that. Um, but when it comes to the stories that we tell ourselves about the burdens that we bear, I don't feel that a man's or a woman's strength is much separate. I don't feel like their responsibility is much separate, but it is different. And it isn't because one person gets it easier than the other. It's because that it's like a need. It's like it's what it's. I mean, I know how it sounds. It's like, but it's what it's built for. Like I'm not gonna do that to myself. At least I'm not gonna sit there and be like, why can't I get myself pregnant with a dick? Why? I just can't. It's just not. Like I'm not gonna sit there and question that and be like, why did God do me that way? Like it's not. That's has nothing. It's better to then say, okay, well, this is the body that I'm in, and what can I work? What am I working with here? And I don't know about you, but I didn't really get a lot of information regarding um um certain rites of passage and responsibilities. Like if I had a daughter now, I would be not talk about her sexual responsibilities until she got her period, because when she gets her period, she's physically able to carry life. And if I was to have a son, which I do have a son, the thing that I have already started teaching my son is, he's only 6, so it's not much to teach at this point, but it's there. It's you know, never, don't get drunk with someone and have sex with them. Don't, just don't. Wait. Just be like, not today, folks. And just protect yourself from. I want him to know that he can make his own food and clean his own clothes and do his own dirty work. That is, and when it comes to procreation, I teach him to, I would teach him to understand that he's carrying a part of life, and it's a responsibility, and that you don't just give that away. That's a part of you, and who that gets shared with will stay with you. And it doesn't matter how flexible you are, how much you're willing to work with others. If they aren't willing to work with you, then it's there's only so much you can do. So I think that being able to have that conversation around that age with young upcoming adults in how I'm talking about it is important, because I didn't have those conversations, and there's always a giddiness around it, um and it's not a joke, and it's awkward, and it feels funny, and yeah, it's definitely, being in a body is weird and awkward, and having responsibilities is can be scary and overwhelming, but the to try to try to diminish it into a joke is a mistake, and I think that's why people are confused if 40's the new 20, or if, you know, like 18 is adult. Like, because I know that when I was under 18, I had no problem hooking up with people who were well over 25. It was not it was not a problem to me. And I definitely, when I got older, it wasn't until years that I actually considered being with someone younger than myself. Only a few years younger, but as far as I'm concerned, um, you don't know what I mean when I say being with. But the thing is that those guys that I had no problem being with while I was underage, do you think that I think of them as sweet fellas? Do you think I stay in touch with them? Do you think I call them and like, how is it? No, no, I don't. I, I have a joke. I could tell you. One guy he was fine. He was fine, and his name was Sir. And so when he wanted me to shush it because he didn't want no one to know that we were sleeping together, he would say shush it, and I would have to say yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, take care of yourselves now.